Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Paul McGuire Grimes, KSTP, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Nicole, Javier, it is an
Where are
absolute
you from?
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. Hi, Minneapolis.
Hello.
And you
How
put
are you?
You put the DVD movies right in the good place, like The Hours
Thank you.
and Skyfall.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Skyfall is my favorite Bond.
Good.
I have distinct memories, Nicole, of seeing Eyes Wide Shut, Moulin Rouge, The Hours in theaters, and those are cinematic experiences I'll never forget. So thank you. Now, Nicole, I have to start with you. I mean, you've played real
I
people
hope you see
before.
this in a theater.
No, I did watch it at home, and I wish I could see it in a theater. Do you approach playing Lucille Ball differently, knowing that the audience has such a distinct vision of her versus maybe someone a little less well-known like Virginia Woolf?
It was a great character. You know, it was like I was sent the screenplay, I read it, I couldn't put it down. I knew a little bit about the I Love Lucy show and Lucy, but the story was just page-turning. And it was crazy good. So I said, yes, yes, yes. And then, you know, I was like, oh, people don't want me to play this. It sort of trickled on through. So then I was like, oh no, what have I done? But Aaron Sorkin was just like, no, you're the one I want. This is what we're doing. Do the work. Keep your focus on what's ahead and just block everything else out. Go to work, Nicole.
Right. I mean, Nicole, I was always on board with you playing this role. So I just want you to know, Queen Kidman had to play this role. So thank you for that.
It's okay. I mean, honestly, people have the right to, you know, be possessive and desire certain people for certain things. I get it. But it was nice to have a cheerleader like Aaron Sorkin just going, nope, I know what I'm doing. Trust me, this is what I want. And as an actor, to have that steady, consistent leader, it's like, okay, then I'm going to believe you and I'm going to follow you.
Yeah. I know you're particular about working with auteurs and very specific visionaries, which shows in your work. Now, Javier, I love knowing when actors fight for roles. I know that you really wanted to play Desi. How did you fight for it? And what were maybe those lesser known qualities about Desi that you wanted to showcase?
I wanted to just embody him and inhabit that energy of his, which is kind of far from my energy in the sense of, for example, he is a person that really overcomes every obstacle with a lot of sense of humor, and he fights for what he thinks is right, that I can understand. But also, he's very, he's not ashamed of who he is and what he represents, and he wanted everybody to be aware of his skills, his wife's skills, the TV show skills, and make a big thing out of it.
Right. I love hearing that. Nicole, what did you learn about yourself through stepping into Lucille's life, knowing that she had to fight for every opportunity and moment to shine? What did you learn about yourself by looking at her life?
I think just her resilience is incredibly inspiring. Her ability to just keep moving forward is really, and I hope that speaks to a new generation who discover her, because it's really, I've got some of my friends, my younger friends, who have seen the film and they go, I love her. Oh my God, she's so inspiring. And I want to be her, you know, because she, no matter what was given to her, she would just keep moving forward. I mean, she was lucky she had a partner who got right behind her and would sort of clear the way for her to do her creative work. When they broke up, Lucy Arnaz told me, my mother didn't want to do the business side of it. She didn't like that. She learnt it because she had to ultimately, but that wasn't what she liked doing. Desi was brilliant at that. And, you know, I love in the film, you see, she goes, he'll take care of it. And when he says, no, this is the way it's going to be, Lucy, she's like, okay. But then when she goes, no, that's not funny, you need to do it like this, he goes, okay. So they had a really interesting balance there.
That's true. Good point.
I got the rap. I wish I could keep talking to both of you. You both are lifetime bucket list interviews for me, and this has been an absolute honor. So thank you so much for the time, and thank you for the projects that you make. Big Little Lies also hit me to the core. So thank you for that too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Paul McGuire Grimes, KSTP, Minneapolis, St. Paul. JK, Nina, it is fantastic talking to both of you today. You were both phenomenal in this, and I really love being the Ricardos. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, JK, I want to start with you. For people out there that are maybe watching I Love Lucy or Being the Ricardos with a really 2021 lens of the industry, how different was it back then that made Lucille and Desi just stand out to be the groundbreaking icons that they are?
You're asking me because I'm the only one who was old enough to actually remember. I do remember watching the show on my parents' black and white TV, the massive 13-inch screen. It was a completely different universe, and that was part of the excitement of making this movie, was when I was playing scenes with Nina or with Javier, with Nicole on that brilliant set with the cameras that were actually from 1950. It was so easy to just be immersed in that time and place.
Nina, how much did you know about Vivian Vance going into this, and what has stuck out to you most about who she was off screen and on screen?
I actually did not know very much about her, so it was a pleasure researching her. The biggest thing I took away is the one thing Vivian is not is Ethel. And Vivian was this incredible theater performer. She was an ingenue, she was a dancer. And then she became Ethel, and she stayed Ethel. So I could understand that boxed in feeling that she had could be a little painful for her.
Now, JK, you've known Aaron Sorkin for many, many years, going back to A Few Good Men, the play of it. What makes his scripts stand out to you, and how different is the Being the Ricardos one from all the other ones that we've really have cherished over the years?
I think the easy answer is that Aaron is just simply a genius, and his intellect and his ear for dialogue are so impeccable, and his sense of structure. But for me, what it boils down to, whether it's A Few Good Men, Being the Ricardos, or any of his work in between, there's always a depth and a heart to his characters and his stories that for me is what's truly impactful at the end of the day.
Would either of you two wanted to work in the old studio system under contract with a specific studio?
Absolutely not.
The golden handcuffs, yeah, it's that was well, I don't know. I'm not quite that old, but that was an interesting era, and kind of like baseball before Curt Flood. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not in it.
Good. That's so fascinating. Do either of you have a favorite Lucy episode of I Love Lucy?
I love the chocolate factory when they go to get jobs. That it's just so iconic for me.
Great. I'm going to go with Vitamita Vegemin or Fred and Ethel fight.
You guys have such great physical chemistry when you're doing the table scene together in this movie. It's really fun to watch just all of that. So thank you. I got the wrap. It's been such an honor talking to both of you today. And I hope that people learn a lot about Lucille and Desi through Being the Ricardos. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Paul McGuire Grimes, KSTP, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Aaron, it is an absolute honor talking to you today. This is truly incredible. I really love Being the Ricardos, and it's so informative about who Lucy and Desi were. So thank you for this.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, now you're directing more of the projects that you've been writing lately with Molly's Game and The Trial of the Chicago 7. Has that changed how you go about writing a script? And then do you know ahead if you want to direct it or not?
Well, that's the thing. I've directed the last 3 films that I've written, but I still haven't written a film knowing that I was going to be the director of it. It's come as a surprise to me each time. So there hasn't been an opportunity to affect my writing.
Fascinating. I think that so many people too will go into this with a certain idea of who Lucille Ball was, but what surprised you most when you were really doing that research about who she and Desi really were?
It was fantastic, and I'm counting on people coming into the theater thinking they know who Lucy and Desi were. They were. No one should be surprised by this, but they and their relationship were considerably more complicated than Lucy and Ricky and their marriage. In this particular week, the film takes place in one production week of I Love Lucy, Monday table read to Friday audience taping. They are presented with 3 huge problems that could end their careers and end their marriage. The first is that Lucy was accused of being a communist, and that was the biggest surprise to me. I never knew that.
I really didn't either. Now, you've written films about Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, now Lucille and Desi, who are all groundbreaking in their fields. Describe that mindset you have in going into writing who these people were. Is it daunting? Is it exciting? Is it all of the emotions you go through?
It is daunting, to be sure. And then when it starts to work a little bit, it gets exciting. But what I try not to do, and what we haven't done with Being the Ricardos, is I try not to write in the traditional biopic structure, the cradle to grave, this happened, then this happened, then this happened structure. I like, in fact, to take a life and compress it as much as I can, in this case, into 1 week. And most of the film takes place on the soundstage where they're shooting I Love Lucy. So I like compressed periods of time and compressed pieces of geography.
I prefer biopics that share a very specific story, not just the Wikipedia page of someone's life.
That's exactly right, and you just put it well. It shouldn't be a Wikipedia page of someone's life. If you can take your protagonist or protagonists and put an obstacle or several obstacles in front of them, and show not who they are, but what they want and what's stopping them from getting it, the tactics that they use to overcome that obstacle, that's your story.
Aaron,
that will show you who these characters are.
I got the wrap. I wish I could keep talking to you. This has been phenomenal. Thank you so much for all of these brilliant films. The Social Network, an absolute masterpiece. So thank you for that as well. One of my favorite.
Thank you very
films.
much. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.